I don't know. I was trying to say, I
This
don't
is one of
know.
your favorite songs easily.
Yeah.
Like you've been listening to this as long as I've known you. This is
Yeah.
just like a theme song of yours, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my
I can tell
favorites.
this was a song that when it first came out was so inspiring to you. Like you walked outside and you saw the world a bit different.
Yo,
I know that's how you
and
felt.
jeans.
I can see it. I can see you walking down the street listening to this and being like, the world just changed for me today. Because it was like that even for me. When I was in middle school and we were bumping this, it was new. Like everything about what he was doing was... The fan? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I got you. Alright.
Oh, man.
Do you have to play the instrumental for the purposes of like not getting copyrighted?
Yeah, stuff like that. I peeped that about the game, too. You know what I mean? But, you know. Oh, man.
Still shout out Lupe.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. First, I would just like to say that God is good. You know, whatever you believe in is just good. Today's Sunday. Gotta look at my phone to get the date, the 18th to be correct. 2022. I was trying to calculate the numbers on how many days it's been since the last time I was doing this, like podcasting, you know, and talking about the arts and all of that stuff. But it was in 2019 where I was able to work on a series of shows and interviews, or you know, a lot of dope individuals, and today I'm bringing it back.
Woo!
So I'm back, bitch.
Back.
Our School, the podcast. It's your boy Mighty Math. I want to say first thank you to my man James Bourne. You know what I'm saying? My man Unky.
Big shout out to James.
Yeah, big shout outs to James for giving me the opportunity to do this in his casa, you know what I'm saying? And bringing this back after whatever amount of years, you know? Like I said, it's your boy Mighty Math, a.k.a. Daddy Durag, a.k.a. Professor X, because I handle all my business sitting down. You feel me? And today, you know, when I'm thinking about what I'm doing, it's like, all right, I want to continue on this thing of what I got going with this community and this university that I'm trying to build. Well, I'm building. I ain't gonna say trying. I'm gonna take that out. Edit that out too. When you go that, you go take it, and it goes back to working on building a university of collectives and individuals that I know that have talent, skill, they're respectful, and all that good stuff. So, you know, I had a better spiel on this, really, what I was gonna say. I was on a bus and then I ate a sandwich, and I was just thinking about what would be the perfect thing to say to introduce this person, to introduce this show, to introduce everything. But I brought my friend back on, you know what I'm saying? He's a photographer. He's a rapper, you know what I'm saying? He's a
rapper?
Yeah, you're a rapper too. He's a used car salesman, and
that doesn't know how to drive.
That doesn't know how to drive. A G League basketball player.
100%.
And overall good guy, my boy Henry. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
Hey.
What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me, Matt. It's an honor to be the first guest to relaunch this podcast. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited.
Oh shit, man! You know I'm thankful, bro. I'm thankful that you wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? To start off, you know, we talk about the intros and how you know people and things like that, and we were brought together through a mutual friend, and by the name of Kat. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Katara?
What's up, Kat?
How you doing? You know what I'm saying? We still love you. You know what I mean? You can follow me back on the gram though. We talking shit.
God.
This is spicy too. Our school is spicy. Low key though. But
Definitely
look,
spicy.
but regardless of that, the connection was through the arts, and we did some things together.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, even the way that we met, I was still a super young person. Like today, I sit here and I'm 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When we met, I'm not even sure if I was 21 yet. I think I was probably 20. So we've known each other for at least 10 years now. at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously, we started by when I was making the doc about you.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I'm correct, the amount of days we spent making the actual doc and filming amounted to like 60 something days. That's how many different days we were recording footage together. So we spent a lot of time together and got to know each other really well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our relationship has developed a lot from when it first started. I mean, like, I was a really young person when we first met, and I'm a lot more mature and I've grown a lot since I met you. And yeah, I'm super glad that we've been friends for this long and have been able to get to know each other, because I've definitely learned a lot from you and seeing how you work and just navigate through this art world. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, bust it, just not.
Shut the fuck
God. I would like to talk about some of the things that we did do during that documentary time, right? So if y'all don't know, this was like actually during the time of like Art Basel, like 2015, I think.
Well, that was towards. I mean, I'm trying to think about what day of filming that was. I wish I knew the exact number, because I have in the hard drive that all this footage is in. It's all numbered by the day, right? So there's day 1, there's day 55, there's day 65, whatever it is, right? I think Art Basel was closer towards like the end of when we were, first filming. There was a lot that I experienced. I mean, first of all, the experience of making a documentary, I asked a lot of you, right? You didn't know me that well when we first started, and I really just asked you to like let me see really what your life is like, which puts you in a very vulnerable position. And it takes a lot of trust to be built over time, especially to like really let me see things for how they were. And obviously in the beginning, even when you throw in the racial element of me being a white person from downtown Brooklyn and you being a black person from East New York, there's that element of like, what are this guy's intentions? What is he really trying to do? How is he going to frame it and everything like that? And it definitely took a while to get over the hump, but I think that eventually we were able to build a trust where you saw that I didn't have any bad intentions in what I was doing.
I want to talk a little bit more about you saying being from downtown Brooklyn and things like that, and just being a photographer. Like where does that start? Where you're now looking at, or you're grabbing the camera and you're saying, I want to move around and start like talking to people, or just checking out what the rest of the city. When does that start for you?
So the funny thing was that growing up, I was just a basketball player. Like, I was in love with basketball, and basketball was my life. And I had no artistic inclination or desire to make any art. I really felt like when I was growing up that art was reserved for a certain type of person that was just naturally gifted at realistic drawing, or a certain kind of expression that was just held to a really high standard. It was only after I had like traveled a bit right when I graduated high school, and also took a film class, that I saw that it was a lot more of like a democratic thing. You could you could take your life into your own hands and just make what you want. You know what I mean, of the world and of your life. But yeah, it was really, my desire to pick up a camera and tell stories and capture images came from just taking a class about film and just learning more about what it means to record an image. And, I just saw that as being important. And I also really like telling stories. I like hearing stories, and I felt like I was seeing a lot of really cool stories around me, and I had a desire to tell them to the world. I think there's something really important about the camera. I was talking about this actually the other day. I think about sometimes all sorts of random shit, whenever. But one of the things I think about is like when the Egyptians were building the pyramids, or when certain monumental things were happening in history and there's no photographic evidence of those things happening. You know what I mean? photographs and film and video have allowed us to understand the world and history so much better than we have been able through text. There's a certain amount of reliability associated with the realism of a photograph or the realism within a video. I think it's really important to document your life and document the world around you to pass on to future generations so they can better understand the world we live in now.
Yeah, you know, it's random. You got me my first camera too. Yo, straight up.
Did I really?
Yeah, that was the first like actual film camera that I ever really like.
What camera did I get you? I remember this kind of.
You helped me. You helped me go to what was that? B&R. What's that? B&H. Yeah, and it was I forgot, point and shoot maybe or something like that. Film camera. Yeah, you got me. You helped me through that journey where I was taking photos of what you're talking about now with like 59th Street, you know, and you know what was going on around there at that time. I was just, you know, I was already up there. Shout outs to, you know what I mean? But, you know, they were developing, and I'm just taking the shots, and I was really happy to be able to show you those photos that I took too. You know what I mean? Because I viewed your eyes like, yo, he knows what he's talking about because of what you're saying. You know what I mean? You look at film and things like that. So I'm like, if anybody knows what film should look like, you know what I mean, I should ask Henry and things like that. So I want to thank you for that, you know what I'm saying? Bro. Because I was really looking at that angle, you know. And you're saying downtown Brooklyn, you're going to school. What school did you go to?
I went to a couple of schools. Oh, wait, I've been waiting for this opportunity. I've been always imagining this opportunity. I want to give a special shout out and a nice fuck you to St. Olaf College, the first college that kicked me out. Big fuck you. I hate you. You're a horrible place. It's literally a cancerous environment where all the students get depressed. And so you did a blessing by kicking me out of that school. So big fuck you to St. Olaf.
The flowers, they smell a little bad. That's it. Okay? Yeah. St. Olaf's, that's all we saying.
So, yeah, I went to St. Olaf College for a year. They kicked me out. Then I went to New York Film Academy for a year. I built up my portfolio in film. And then I went to the Museum School of Fine Art at Tufts.
That was in Boston. That was in Boston, right?
That was in the Bean.
Yeah, that was in the Bean. Yo, I remember sitting outside and getting some crazy news that day too when we was out there at Boston Stadium. That was crazy.
Wait, we ain't
gonna put it out there.
No, we're not gonna get into that, but I want to actually preface that whole thing. So what happened is that while I was going to that school, I was editing the film that I had been making about math. Right?
Yeah.
And there was a film festival associated with my school where I entered the film that I had made of math into it. It got accepted, and it was actually shown at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. I called him Matt like the day before, told him it was happening, and he pulled up to watch the film with me at the Museum of Fine Arts.
Yo, it's crazy, right? So that's some more stuff that, you know what I mean, people don't know. You know what I mean? Been putting in some hours. Shout outs to Unky with, you know what I mean, that 10,000 hour quote and stuff like that I still don't believe in. He's in the back sipping some organic water lemonade, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But again, right? So we talking about, you know what I mean, the development in the school stage, right? As you're going through school, is there anybody that's like kind of like
inspiring to me? Yeah, definitely. There were teachers at my art school that were very inspiring to me. I mean, just like myself right now, they were independent filmmakers. They weren't signed. They didn't have agents. They were just people who were out here and doing it. And I mean, one of the things I want to talk about, one thing that you had mentioned before too, which was some of the stuff that we shot, right? And I want to talk about the very first day that we ever started filming. You probably don't remember what happened that day, but
smoke the weed,
It's similar to what was inspiring to me about my teachers. Like I just told you, they were my teachers at SMFA were people who were holding the camera themselves. They were going to the location. They were putting in the hours. They were editing the films, and they were just making it happen on their own. They weren't waiting for someone to come along and help them through the process. They were people who were like, if it's totally in my hands and I have to make it happen. And the same thing I saw in you when we first started making. The very first day that we started filming was a day that you had a show in Harlem. And I met you in East New York, and it was the it was the painting of the pharaoh against the blue backdrop with the pyramid. In
Yeah,
the
yeah,
background.
yeah, with the Supreme and the Sixes, my favorite Jordans.
And I met you in East New York. And so, for people who don't know, if anyone by chance is watching this and they're not from New York and they don't know where East New York is all the way on one side of Brooklyn. You essentially take the C train all the way, not all the way to the end, but pretty damn near.
Pretty near, yeah.
End,
We right on the border.
And so the art show was in Harlem. So when we're getting on the train to go to Harlem, you're essentially going from one side of Brooklyn all the way at the end to the entire end of Manhattan, you know? And I watched Math and I filmed Math the entire way going up there. It was a long ride, and he's carrying this painting physically. You're carrying this painting physically up to Harlem. You're showing the piece. You know, it takes a lot of work to get up there. You have to carry it. It's a cumbersome object. It's not easy to carry. You know, you got one arm up here, you got one arm down here, and you have to like stretch your arms to carry the piece all the way through Harlem.
Work.
And we get there, we show the piece, and it came time for you to present your work, and you presented your work. And if I'm being like totally honest, right, it seemed like something had happened in your mind where you kind of felt a little bit down about something. I don't know exactly what it was, but you felt sort of down. And you started talking about your piece as if it wasn't, you know, all that or whatever. And then you said you offered
to give it away.
To give away the painting, and no one took the painting. And then I filmed you outside of that, you know, shop, and then I filmed you taking that painting back to your house all the way to East New York, which was a 45-minute train ride. Now, what was inspiring to me about that experience, and also inspiring to me about you and what has informed a lot of my work ethic in this artistic practice, was that did not cause you to give up, that did not cause you to get demoralized. That was just literally a bump in the road for you, where it was like, okay, where that happened, and I'm just going to keep it pushing and keep going, you know, to get wherever I, you know, want to go to.
That's what I do most of the time. You know what I mean? In the school, right, I think that there are different classes, and, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean, you have to go through certain classes to understand the others, and that was something that I experienced, and I thought about it. Shout outs to Mama Heath and the Heath Gallery and everybody associated up there. That's something that taught me, you know, just to be a little bit more cautious of what's going on around me and things like that. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean, it is what it is. I got this one question for you, right? Yeah. Photographers, right? Were there any that it was like really getting you? Because I'm looking at what's his name, Jason Minion or something like that. He did all the Jay-Z stuff, yeah, things like that. And I'm saying, yo, he's pretty cool and things like that. But I think Shorty that did the champagne for. There's Jay-Z when he's holding all the Ace of Spade bottles and stuff like that. I forgot her name, but excuse me, I'll find out and I'll put it in the link or something like that. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Were there any of those type of guys coming around?
I mean, I was always more like, I wasn't as interested in editorial photography or like fashion photography, and I was much more interested in photojournalism. So, I mean, Bruce Davidson, Gordon Parks, I'm so bad with names. I always like forget when I'm put on the spot. You know, a lot of Magnum photographers, just street photographers and photojournalists in general have always been the ones who inspired me the most. I mean, to me, there's a difference between, you know, a good photo and an important photo. And an important photo is one that doesn't just have good lighting or good color or good whatever. It has, you know, a certain amount of context and story behind it that actually makes it more important than just the image that you're seeing on the screen.
What's a bad photo to you? Name something that you've seen in the media so far that's been a bad photo. Like,
I don't think that I don't really have like an opinion on what makes a photo bad or not. I do think that, you know, where I do become sort of like
judgy
photos is when I see people jacking a lot of mid shit. I think a lot of times people start to jack photos that have famous people in it just because there's a famous person in it, and a lot of times, photographers get props on a photo because there's a famous person in it when really there's absolutely nothing special about the
I
photo.
feel that way about people that just paint celebrities.
Yeah, well, I think that in general, in this day and age, especially when celebrity and being famous is like so important for everyone, a lot of times artists consider themselves to be talented just based on who they're creatively aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
If they're aligned with a famous person or a celebrity, a lot of times that's the only validation they need to consider themselves talented.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot higher standards than that, and I hold myself to higher standards than that. When I think of what makes a photographer a good photographer, I think about, are you good within the canon of photography? Are you good within the canon of filmmaking? Are you doing something special? Are you doing something unique? To me, just being aligned with a celebrity or getting validation from a famous person is not enough. And so if there's anything that I would consider not necessarily a bad photo, but photos that are overrated are ones that are just of celebrities.
I feel you on that. Shout out to my boy Rel Easy for texting me, asking me where I'm at.
Also nudes, like photographers that just take photos of nude shorties and think that that makes their photo ill. I think that's retarded. I'm sorry, don't say. My girlfriend tells me this. I shouldn't say that word.
Edit that.
Yes, please. I think that those artists do not do any sort of reflection on what they're creating or on even why they're creating it. I think it's a lot of times for just a wow factor, and it's a way to get people to look. But I don't think that they're really thinking deeply about what this photo says and how it adds to the perception of women that people have. And
this is a pop question, right? Yeah. This is a pop question. Like Kim Kardashian's recent with her cheeks out, like that type nude, like the photographer on that. Are we talking like that, or did you see that?
No, I don't.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah, Kim Kardashian. She has I forgot who she put it out with recently, but it's like she has this cowboy outfit on, and her butt cheeks is out like Prince, and she has everything blonde and stuff like that. And I just thought it was really tasteless. You know what I mean? Like, as a photographer, you know what I mean? I kind of just sit there and be like, damn, like, I'm shooting her butt cheeks. Like, this is not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I don't know. But
I don't know. I would shoot Kim Kardashian's butt cheeks. Just for the fact that I think that's I think that in one way or another you can find importance in that photo, just in the sense of like it says something about the day and age that we're living in. It says something about how infatuated we are with celebrity, how infatuated we are with big butts, how infatuated we are with this time. And I think that actually, when studied in a certain way, could be an important photo. But I just think it's about the way that we're looking at it, and not just like for the fact that she has nice butt cheeks.
I feel you. We turning the page a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You have a brother too.
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? You want to shout him out real quick?
Absolutely. Let me shout out Patrick McGowan.
Yo.
I'm incredibly proud of my brother. He's worked really hard in education for a long time now. Finally this year, he has become the principal of an entirely new school. He's the founding principal of a new charter school in the Bronx. There's only the 5th grade. It's a really successful school as of right now. Actually, there was an email sent out to the network of schools that his school belongs in, and it was an email sent out to specifically shout out Patrick and the job that he's been doing. And the school itself has been voted within the network, or for some certain magazine, as top 5 charter schools in the network. And so he's doing an incredibly good job.
Shout out to my man Pat, you know what I'm saying, in the building, you know what I mean? Big Pat, Big Red in the house, you know what I'm saying? So, I know your parents and stuff like that, man.
That's a fact.
And things like that. Recently, I guess it was recently, we was just talking about, I was over at the house and we was looking at the piece, the Animal Kingdom shit, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Just looking at it, and her being an avid art collector and things of that matter, it's so beautiful, to experience that, you know what I mean? And to see that, her floors are crazy.
Well, I think I think this is a really interesting topic of conversation too in general, is because when we were filming, actually, when Math and my mom became like acquainted with each other, and my mom became a collector of Math's work, it became a sort of tension between Math and I. It became a tension between us, you know what I mean? And it paused our relationship for a second, and it's very interesting how much our lives have become intertwined throughout this entire process, you know what I mean? It started off with just me and you being in a relationship, where I'm filming you and you're participating in the documentary, and then it became a lot more personal in the sense of like, not only was I entering your personal life, you were also entering my personal life. You know what I mean?
True.
And so it was a very interesting dynamic in general. But yeah, obviously since then my mom is a big appreciator of your work and collector of your work, and it's sick.
You know, one thing is, you know, I was out last night chilling, you know what I'm saying, and I was talking to my boy, and we was talking about certain things, and I'm here today because of the opportunity that I was given, and doing so, you know, we talk about like therapy, and we talk about, you know what I mean, looking at the past and getting over those things, and this is the result of that. So when we look at conflict resolution, you know what I'm saying, I think that we the future will show you that in some sense, because that's what I'm about, you know what I'm saying. It's like you mentioned the tension and things, and you know that's us. But
I think in general, what I appreciate so much about our relationship is the fact that there have been, you know, whatever time when I was upset at you or you were upset at me, vice versa. That's both happened. But whereas we've seen and we've had our fair share of relationships where tension has happened, or arguments have happened, or fights have happened, and people have just given up on the relationship.
Yeah.
We're both the type of person, fortunately, that for us, I don't think that there really could be any one thing that would make us be like, yo, this relationship is done. We've always worked it through. Saw the other side in the situation, where you're coming from, where I'm coming from, and been able to just like overcome it and put it behind us.
Yeah, and that's what's important, and that's part of schooling, right? So here at art school, you know what I mean, we also talk about those things too, you know what I mean? To those that are out there and you know you want to seek some help or whatever, you know, if you can, go ahead and go, you know what I mean, seek it, you know what I mean? If there's any information that I could put out there for you, you know what I mean, I'll help you as well in that journey, you know what I mean? And that all goes through, if you like doing what you do, you know what I mean, it'll find you, you know what I'm saying? Gangland shit, you know what I mean? It's been almost like a half. We've been talking about photography and things like that, and you know what I mean, the upbringing on that, the parent stuff or whatever. I've never really known you to be like too much into the hype of things, you know what I'm saying? But you hype up these Knicks.
Oh yeah.
And I don't understand why you hype up the Knicks. Like, I'm like Stephen A right now when it comes to the Knicks, and it's like, I love the Knicks, I really do, but why?
Okay, first of all, I'll go point by point. Stephen A is a fake ass Knicks fan. Stephen A does not watch the Knicks. He comes on First Take and he makes points, and anyone who really watches the Knicks, anyone who is a real fan like me, sees through his BS, man. Stephen A, you do not want to have me on First Take. I will tear you a new one, because you're obviously a superficial fan. You know, you say you care, you put on the whole bravado, you don't really watch us, you don't really care. Besides the point, why I'm such a hype fan of the Knicks in general is because even when we're bad, even when we're not in the playoffs, somehow headlines and fans across the country and the world find a way to talk shit about the Knicks.
Listen.
And that just goes to show how ill we are, how transcendent we are, and how we are coming closer and closer every single day to the Mecca. And when the day comes, it will be the most glorious day in the history.
Oh my God! Listen, like I'm not even trying to be funny about the Knicks or nothing like that. I really, when Brooklyn came to town, I remember. Shout out to my man Flip, right? I remember this. I was teaching at Fresh Air Fund, right? And I had the Knicks hat, and Brooklyn came, and there was no Knicks hat nowhere available. There was no Knicks. I was downtown Brooklyn everywhere. I couldn't find a Knicks hat. I said to myself, damn, I got to wear some type of hat to go back up to the town because when I go to these camps, these kids don't really, like, they don't see you as you're from the city. As a, you know what I mean? Being from the city because they're from the city. I don't know why, but I felt like they didn't, unless you was like, yo, son, did you, you know what I mean? And it was like, nah, I can't really like speak like that as much as I would like to. So so I gotta wear the Brooklyn hat. And when I did that, it hurt my soul. But I said to myself, you know, y'all couldn't land KD. Y'all can't land nothing.
Thank God we didn't.
What?
Thank God we didn't land KD.
What?
Thank God.
What?
Look at the message over there. It's a complete disaster.
Going to the playoffs.
Knocked out in 4 games.
Going to the playoffs though.
Knocked out in 4 games.
Yeah, that's we're coming back. The Nets, we know what it is. We know what time it is. We know who's the new. It's the new time in New York City, and I understand it. You like the Islanders to the Rangers now. You know what I mean? Like
I don't follow hockey, but
you know what I mean. Like the Islanders is like, yo, they the last fans left of like hockey out there, and that's like the Knicks. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They're like the last.
We're the only real fans, true fans in basketball. Everyone else is fake. Everyone else is a bandwagon fan. New York Knicks fans. We ride for our team no matter what. We've been through this past 20 years of just like not making the playoffs. We have not abandoned. Knicks fan has not abandoned.
Yo.
Gone full in. Everyone who jumped on the Brooklyn bandwagon has been. Honestly, probably even more sad than us. We know not to expect much. You guys have been expectation of going to the championship for so many years now. For the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett years, Joe Johnson and Deron Williams, to the now KD, Kyrie, formerly James Harden, you know, now Ben Simmons thing.
You spilling right now. You spilling.
Disappointment every year.
Ooh, you are spilling. You feel that cup that Nick cup overfloweth, and the Nicketh cuppeth overfloweth with the hative of the juiceth.
The Knicks cup is always half full. Always.
I hear that. Can we get a bing bong after that? Because that was like a real true New Yorker, like want to talk about the Knicks and things like that. Yo, so back to more photography, right? Yeah. If you weren't doing that, what would you be doing?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't really know. If I wasn't doing filmmaking and photography and, you know, editing and, I mean, honestly, I'd probably be working with kids. I love working with kids. Mm-hmm. Working with kids brings me a lot of joy. And so I'd probably be teaching, honestly. Mm. That's still something that I'd like to do in my life. I still like to teach kids about photography and filmmaking.
Alright. Yes, I was thinking about that. You know what I mean? Like, what would I be if I wasn't like an artist? And I'll probably be a chef. I've been making the mezzaroli, vatapoli, fufatolis, you know what I'm saying? And all that, zapolis and all that other good stuff.
I'm not eating that.
You know what
I don't know what he's talking about.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to the queen in the back. Got the crib smelling organic and things like that. We appreciate your blood clot. Yo, this is our school with your host, Mighty Math, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into a little break real quick, you know what I'm saying? We just going to chill for a second. Yo, we coming right back, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Unky in the back for working with me again. Appreciate you. And, pause. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we back on? Oh snap! We came back on like we was just
We're
chilling.
back on.
There was this moment in time where we took a break and now we back. Art School with your host Mighty Math. You know what I'm saying? AKA Daddy Durag, AKA Professor X, because I handle all my business sitting down. You feel me? And y'all, I'm back here with my boy Henry and
Yo.
things like that. And we ended off with the Knicks, and then we started talking about, you know what I mean, how overrated, you know what I mean, their value is, even though they're on 34th Street and the diner over there doesn't stay 24 hours anymore, which sucks. You feel me? That sucks, you know. I went on a date once to the garden. That was crazy. I shouldn't have did that. That was whack. But anywho, you know what I'm saying?
Why
Yo,
was that?
it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
Yo, do you think the Mona Lisa is overrated?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the Mona Lisa is overrated. You know what I'm saying?
In what sense, though?
Just cause it's like so small.
I've never seen it in person.
Yeah, it's a small piece. It's like a 16 by 20. It's mad small. But talking about Mona Lisa and things like that, do you love anything else besides photography?
Yeah, of course.
What are some things you love?
Basketball, I love people. I love my family. I love friends. I love. I mean, if I'm being honest, I love mushrooms. Like, honestly, I've like stopped doing all drugs together. No weed, no anything else. The only drug that I do now, and I don't really consider it a drug, is shrooms.
Wow.
Mushrooms. I think it's super therapeutic. I think that everyone should do it. I think that and Math, I know you're a big weed guy.
Smoke the weed.
I think that weed, like alcohol, is something that people do to numb pain and numb thinking. And I think that mushrooms is actually something that causes you to do introspection and do a lot of healing. So I recommend to all weed smokers, put the weed down, pick up the mushrooms.
Listen, okay, I get it. You feel me? But we gonna have to draw a fine line in this sense, sir. All right, coming here gunslinging, talking about weed, man. Don't sell no more of that fire. No more Zaza.
Sell shrooms, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Sell shrooms too with that Za. You feel me? We all about.
Shrooms before?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I think the shrooms are dope, man. I fucks
Have you
with
done
the
the shroom chocolates?
Not really like that.
I'm getting you the shroom chocolates.
Yo, but listen, here's another thing that I know about edibles, and anytime I'm high on edibles, I turn into a savage pig. I am everything. Everything. It don't matter if the chips are stale. I'm tearing the chips up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so okay. 3 questions, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Eh.
First thing that comes to your mind, Joe Biden. Eric Adams.
Very
Um,
I mean, honestly, Eric Adams, I mean, what the hell are you doing, bro? What the hell are you doing? And Joe Biden, too. What the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, you
Joe
got...
Biden, I'm sorry. I really do feel bad for the people in Ukraine, but why are we giving them hundreds of billions of dollars?
Like, that's
Like,
kind of...
What are we doing? We have problems here, dude. We have fucking problems here.
Yo, why are you having a better summer than me, Eric Adams?
Eric Adams, go inside, bro. Stop staying up all night. Stop going to that freaking restaurant that you go to all the time and not paying the bill.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Yo, you know it's crazy. I don't want y'all to come after me, but you know what I'm saying? I know who party you was at last night. You feel me? At a 50-year-old party. I feel you.
Chilling with French Montana in the club. Like Eric Adams. No one is going to believe that you're cool. No one is ever going to think that you're that guy.
Yo, it's chill, relax, you know. What do you think about New York City right now?
What do I think about New York City? I mean, I think that a lot of the magic, and maybe this is just a really old head talking right now, old head kind of speech, but I think that a lot of the magic that was there when we were kids, like, I really feel like the last final era of New York was like 2008, 2009, 2010. I feel like after that, the magic of New York kind of left. Honestly, like I don't see any more backyard parties. I don't see people dubbing like that anymore. I think that it's just changed. I think that there's more than ever a lot of people that are not from New York City taking over neighborhoods. The rent is way too damn high. Only certain kinds of people can afford to live in New York City in general, and a lot of the cool people, a lot of the originals, a lot of the OGs are not really here anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of sad. And then I think about it too, like, as I think about leaving New York City, you know what I mean, if that's the case, like, am I doing the same thing somewhere else,
It's still not, I've been to a bunch of places around the country. I still don't think there's any city that's really even New York, in the state that it's in right now, no other city is comparable. New York is still the best city in the country.
Yeah, definitely. New York City, hands down, is still the best city in the whole entire universe.
No question.
It is
Wait,
what
hold on,
it
can I
is.
tell you my number two?
What?
Number two best city in the country, just recently experienced it and found this out, New Orleans. New Orleans is number two. It's better than LA, it's better than Chicago, it's better than Boston. New Orleans, number two, strong number two.
Yo, that's where my peoples are from. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my grandma and Geraldine, you know what I mean, on the set. Yeah, New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? Do not say New Orleans. You gotta say New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Or New Orleans or something like that. That's how they know, So check this out, right? If you had the chance to take a shot or past or present, right? What shot would you have liked to have captured the most?
Damn, I've never thought about that.
Because I know where I want my work to be. I imagine my work being in some chapel, some like chapel from way back in the days. I think about stuff like that,
Oh, I know what I would have documented. I would have documented people traveling from the East Coast to California. Like when white people first came to this country, I think that when I go to California and I see the mountains, I'm like, motherfuckers did this on horseback? They're insane. There was nothing here.
Yeah.
They did that and it was hot. And it was cold. It was snowing and people did that. I would have loved to document that experience of people and I also would have loved to photograph America before any white person had ever come to America and completely ruined it and made it full of concrete and fucking tall buildings.
Oh man.
I would have loved to see it like just in its pure form where the water was clean and the water was pure and the land was untouched.
You've seen all types of ducks and stuff that you never seen before.
Animals that have now gone extinct.
Yeah, amphibians of all sorts and different shapes and colors and sizes. Recently, I found out that there was over 30,000 species of fishes. That was kind of crazy.
That we know of.
That we know of.
We only explored like 2% of the ocean.
Like 30,000. That's crazy, of different types of like fish. Like just the fish alone. It was like, wow. And like you said, it's the ones that we haven't even discovered, right? One place you would like to travel to that you haven't traveled to so far?
I mean, honestly, right now, I've done a lot of traveling, but I haven't really gone to like very many tropical, nice beach coastal areas. Places that are really on my radar right now. Underrated place in terms of beaches from pictures that I've seen, Albania. I want to go to a bunch of places in Europe. I want to check out Turkey. I want to check out Albania. I want to check out Greece. I want to check out Poland. Those are all places that I'm very interested in going to right now.
Interesting. I've been to Turkey before.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to Turkey before. Yeah, it's kind of.
Where'd you go in Turkey?
I really don't remember the actual place. I know it was the city or wherever the port was
Istanbul?
at. Yeah, I think it was wherever the military was at. Yeah, that's where we pulled up.
That's right. You were based there in Turkey?
Nah, I went there. We went there on a East Pack tour. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Yeah, I remember being in a club and shooting a handgun in the middle of a club. Like, that was a thing that they did. Like, so when they celebrate, like when you see the videos of like the Middle Eastern man shooting an AK and like that's really happens. And I remember being in Turkey and I'm busting a nine like this and I'm holding on to this young lady. She was real nice and you know what I'm saying? No, she wasn't Turkish. She was, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just doing my thing, and I felt like Tony Montana. Yeah, it was so crazy. Turkey. Shout outs to Turkey. You feel me?
I want to go bad. Turkey.
Yeah, and their currency is wild different too. So they already shot up in the millions. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get a $500,000 bill. You like, what the fuck is this? This is only $10. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy over there. You know, what's his name? Enes Kanter.
Yes, Enes Kanter.
Yeah. How did you feel? What did you think about his political stances as a Knicks fan? Like, you think he was ruining it? Like the gameplay because he was going so political?
I think that definitely he was alienating himself from teammates and stuff like that were really focused on basketball and just winning and doing their job. I don't think that everyone is necessarily politically inclined, and nor do they have to be. I don't think that it's everyone's responsibility to have a stance on something. I honestly don't. I applaud him for his efforts and his desire to bring awareness to certain issues that he feels are particularly important to him. But I can definitely see how teammates would start to resent him because of the attention he was bringing to the team that didn't have to do with basketball, that didn't have to do with how good they were doing on the court. So I, on one hand, applaud him, but also I do not fault his teammates or any team in the NBA for not wanting to bring him on as a result.
I feel you on that. That's what's up, man. You know what I mean? Politics and things like that don't always play into part what we do, you know what I mean, as well. Well, it doesn't, everybody don't play by the same rules, so it is what it is with that. You know, we was talking about this hot topic too, you know, who's harder to work with? You know, we was talking about like rappers and things like that. And you know, there was a hot little moment where you was like, you know what I mean, the egos and...
Well, I mean, it's really just so I do a lot of work for like music video stuff. I direct them, I edit them. And I mean, the entire music video industry is a completely flawed industry. And it really oftentimes lends itself to just a bad experience for directors and editors and anyone involved in the production. A lot of times people are underpaid for the amount of work that they're doing. The timelines are very short. They expect you to be able to get everything done in a very short period of time, and then they don't compensate you to account for the amount of work that you have to do on a production end. But then also, you know, music videos a lot of the time are just advertisements for the artist. They're commercials for the artist. And so a lot of times, rather than the actual creation or the message or the concept kind of falls to the wayside, and what the music video or what music videos become overwhelmingly about is how does the artist like how they look from shot to shot, you know? And, you know, how they look from shot to shot becomes more important than the rhythm of a video, than the concept, than the story, than the narrative, or whatever.
Who's the hardest you've worked with ever in your life so far? We'll bleep it out.
Oh no, honestly, okay, you have to bleep it out. Playboy Cardi is by far the hardest to work with.
Playboy Cardi?
Yeah, the most diva, the biggest diva by far.
I mean, yo, Playboy, like, yo, I get it, you know what I'm saying? But calm down, son. Calm down, my boy. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, this next thing, you know, when we talk about being resilient and working through your stuff, absolutely. You know what I mean? As you're going on, you're continuously working through your,
for sure,
going through whatever it is. How are you doing that?
Honestly,
and this is a double question. What is something that you could give to others to, you know what I mean, help them, you know what I mean, get through that too?
Definitely. You know, I've been committed to making sure that I was going to be a lifelong filmmaker and an artist for a long time. And the hardest part about doing that is when you get to what feels like a point where you're like, I've been doing this for years now and nothing is panning out for me. I'm still not making enough money to survive. I'm still not making I'm not making a living off this. And there comes a certain point in, I think, anyone's artistic career where they have to decide, am I going to continue until I succeed, or am I going to give up and get a regular job just so that I can pay the bills? I think a really important aspect in just making it to the point that you want to make to is not giving up. I mean, resilience is extremely important because you're going to fail. There are going to be, times where you want to give up on yourself. There are going to be so many times where self-doubt enters and you just don't think you're talented enough, you don't think you have it. You have to push through those thoughts and continue to do reflection on yourself and where you're at and how you can improve, and just continue and just be a madman and say, I'm not going to give up no matter how bad I fail. And be willing to take that risk. Be willing to take the risk of failing in order to get what you want.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? We all go through what we go through, how you deal with it. I hope you deal with it well. That's what I can say, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, I don't like hearing, yo, son, we all go through this. It's like, I just hope that you go through it well. And I'm thankful that you've been able to come aboard and be my first, episode of Art School. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what to say, like I said in the beginning, because I'm just wrapping this back up and I'm just coming back around, and I'm saying it's like being on the court again.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you start off with the perfect intro, or how do you introduce this person and get them to talk about their story and, where they are, where they were and where they are now and things like that. So, as we get to an end, where are you now with your work?
Right now, where I'm at with my work is I have a bunch of things that I do to make a living, and then I have all my personal projects that I work on the side. And I find myself still learning, still being inspired, still completely committed to being a purist filmmaker. And I know that I'm going to get there, and I just have to keep working really hard to make a living and keep my eye on the prize, which is, making a film, entering it into film festivals, and winning an Oscar.
That's what we doing?
100%.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. When you say shit like that, that's what I'm talking about. I get amped because I cannot wait to wear a pair of nice shoes when you invite me to the party. 100%. That's it. Like, that's all I'm talking about, because I think about those things, right? And like, woo,
I think it's just a matter of believing in what you're doing and knowing that everything is a small step that's going to get you somehow, some way to the point that you want to be. Not giving up on that vision, believing in that vision wholeheartedly, and knowing that they're going to be a really annoying steps along the way that seem like they're not getting you any closer, but they are. And just trust and believe in the process.
Yo, so my last and final question, right? Before we leave, like I said, this is Art School. I'm going to go with season 2, episode 1, because, that's what it is. And I appreciate everybody from S Street Media for giving me the opportunity and showing me the ropes on how to do these things way back in, before the world shut down and all that. But, I'm here now, and I'm doing this again, and I'm revamping this Steezy to get all collectives involved and just to, hear more of your story. So, I kind of know what it does for me, but what keeps you alive?
To famously quote you when I asked you that question one time.
Oh, Jesus.
Ready? I really don't know.
I
really don't know. Because I actually asked you that. I have that exact question moment on camera, recorded and edited. I asked you you asked me what keeps me alive.
Yeah.
I threw the question back at you. You looked around and you said, I don't know.
Wow, I said that?
Yeah, you did.
Wow, so I was somewhere. It was
a dark time.
Yeah. There weren't too many lights in the tunnel.
There were not very many. It was a dark tunnel at that
You know what I mean? I think about all those times and things like that. But, like I said, it's funny that we're in the floss right now. You know what I mean? And as I think about it, my mom's doesn't live too far from here. She lives over there, probably like 5 minutes away from where we at right now. And, it's just everything comes full circle, and that's what it is,
Wait, can I add to my question, though? Because I actually do have an answer besides I don't know.
Oh.
What keeps me alive is really desperately wanting to achieve my goals of making an amazing classic film one day, and making making art, taking my best photograph, um, living for each day where I'm about to make my best new work, and also what keeps me alive is enjoying the time that I get to spend around the people that I love. I value all of the people that I love that are in my life beyond words, and I live every day so that I can spend more time with them as well.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. It's not even sounds good. Yo, you ever got a sounds good text and you was like, that sound bland.
What sounds good text is usually passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little like, all right, we'll see.
Yeah, I hate sounds good text. That's why I always say smooth. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like I said, yo, it's your boy, Mighty Math, Art School, Season 2, Episode 1. You know what I mean? September 18th, 2022. Right? The Most High is the greatest. Whatever you believe in is what you believe in. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You know what I mean? If you get the chance, you know, just shoot me a holler at mighty_math. You want to tell them where they can reach you?
Yeah, sure. If you want to see my work, you can go to henrynolanmcgowan.com. That's HenryNolanMcGowan.com, and that has a lot of photographs that I've ever taken and all my video work that I've ever done. If you want to find me on Instagram, you can find me at son of a willow tree, and that's son as in mother and son, father and son, SON, of a willow tree.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Like, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Cousin Stiz, too. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to play his music while we go off.
Shout out to Cousin Stiz. Cousin Stiz, I'm coming out. I'm seeing you in like 2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? Boston Tings and all that,
Boston
you know?
Tings.
Yo,
What are you going to play? I'm really curious as to what you're going to play.
labels. Cut all that little boy shit out. That bit out. It's right, it's it out. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is Art School, you heard? And yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm thankful. Much love to you. Peace, y'all. Blessings, you heard?
Peace.
Them niggas talking on the phone again. Things on roll, get your shit out.
Cut the shit out.
I got that land right on the road shit. We got road shit. I'ma make this shit exist.